All right, market update here on the 5th. So if you've been watching futures, here a few hours ago, I was looking at them. They're only down 1%. It looked like a normal move. SPY was about where I was targeting here at 525, and then I went back and looked at futures about an hour ago, and SPY was down almost 3%, and QQQ is down almost 5%. I guess the only thing that's going to save this now is Powell. If he does an emergency rate cut, potentially, something like that is going to have to happen, or else this is a total meltdown. I actually just posted this chart yesterday and on StockTwits, and I had a alt count here. So my original count was ABC down here to 506. The alt count has this as a third wave of a third wave, and now it's almost certainly a third wave of a third wave. Based on how far it's gone down, it's at 516. So 532 straight to 516 right here. So this would still be the third wave. And at this point too, it's almost, technicals are pretty much out the window. Really, I would just be looking at moving averages. And because it comes down to, is Powell going to rate cut, or is he going to be stubborn and just keep on doing the same thing he's doing? At this point, he has no choice. He has to rate cut. If there's no change with him, then this market's going to keep on crashing, apparently. So, especially now, everyone's going to be freaking out. The VIX is at 36, and moving averages wise, the only thing we have to save it is here at the 200 DMA at 500. So, not looking good. And this is definitely an impulse move now. You cannot say that this is an ABC move. See, even that, the 1.61 fib, it goes way past that. Definitely an impulse move, unless they intervene. If they intervene, you never know. It could pop back up and go green by open. They do an emergency rate cut. So, technicals, kind of throw them all out the window. Throw this all out the window, I guess, right now. We'll see what happens to the open. If it keeps on crashing. And yeah, I mean, technicals pretty much go out the window when it's a crash. So, all I can look at is moving averages. I don't think supply and demand really matters at this point. Unfortunately, this works when there's a normal moving market, but when there's a crash, it's out the window. So going to QQQ, this is at 425, down 5%. I think it's down a little bit less now. I think it was down like 4.7 last time I checked, but it's now below the 200 DMA. So this is mega bearish. It's gone through every moving average in the last 3 weeks, below the 200 DMA. So yeah, the next support, the next support is actually right here at the 50 on the weekly here on 420. If it breaks 420, the next support after that is 350. And you can see this is pretty accurate too. We're at the very top of the standard deviations on the weekly. So even coming down here to 420, you're basically right in the middle. We'll see if it holds 420. Again, I'm not going to look at the shorter term time frame technicals because it doesn't really matter. But again, back about a month ago, I said that this was the end of the fifth wave. So anything can happen from that point on, and we're getting that big move down on SPY. This is a little bit out of control. Let's just zoom out though and just see if a fourth wave is still possible. So here's the thing interesting about this is it really wasn't a deep second wave. So I would actually be looking for a sharp fourth wave. So I think a good target is down here at 487. This was weekly demand, but we could be getting that sharp move down here to 487. The 0.38 fib. So shallow second wave, sharp fourth wave, and then still get, I still think we're going to get a move on SPY to new all-time highs. I mean, it's pretty obvious this whole thing is pretty much rigged. You don't really know. It's just unwinding right now, and we're basically just relying on one entity to figure it out. If they don't figure it out, then throw these technicals out the window. On SPY, I wanted to see it hold the 200 DMA, but if it goes below this, 487 would be the target. Let's go to the weekly. And you have the 50 here as well. So maybe they're targeting the 50 on, well, 50 is a little bit lower on SPY. Overall, they could be targeting the 50 on SPY, and QQQ could be much lower than that. We'll have to find out, because again, this has completed its move, so they can make a bigger move. This can go something like this and be completely normal. On SPY, it can do, let's say it comes down here to 506, and it ends up coming up like this. If that happens, that's completely fine for a fourth wave, and that would actually hit the bottom of the standard deviation right here sometime in October or November. So again, let's just see what happens. Let's see if Powell saves it short term, but I do not think that SPY yet is a crash. I said it was a crash at the start of the video. It's a short-term crash. To me, it hasn't invalidated this move yet. Where would it invalidate this move? It would have to crash pretty hard. I would say invalidation for me. If it crosses below like 463, that's the 0.5 fib, then I would probably say this is not a fourth wave. That would be too deep of a correction. Technically, it's not invalidated till it crosses 410, but I think 450 would be a big warning sign. So maybe we're headed straight to the weekly demand for this A wave bounce and then another move lower. All right, Tesla overnight is at like 185, not looking good. Tesla really is turning into a impulse move in my opinion, which is not good. It could invalidate this whole move. You can see how crazy this is. This was looking very, very, very impulsive. Looked great. And then we lose 33% in 25 days. Assuming it opens up below at 185. So on this one, you got to look at it like this now. You got to look at it like this. 1, 2, 3. No, this is actually only the third wave. I'd be looking at it like this. Unfortunately, that's what I see. This is a demand zone right here. They're going to have to save it. I mean, this is going to be 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. Bounce, lower low. Yeah, that's not good. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Tesla at the open. Completely invalidated what I thought. Actually, I was thinking 185 was like the bottom for this to go, be an ABC move to the upside. But again, technicals don't matter when they have something that overrides it, like the Japanese, I think it's the bond market, and just the overall stocks are just falling. I think they're down 14% in Japan. So let's go over NVIDIA. It was at 92 bucks last time I looked at it, and there is a gap fill down here. There's a demand zone here, but similar to the rest of them, that's below the 50 and the 20, and you have the 200 down here at 80 bucks. That's your next target right there, 80 bucks for NVIDIA. And I'll just show this too. I wasn't 100% sure that this was finished, but there was some suspicion based on this right here. I mean, it's a small thing that I look at. Take the second wave to the bottom of the fourth and put it to the top of the third, and look at this, where this hit. It literally basically hit the top of the parallel line, and I said that could be the end, or it's a fourth wave, it's going to go higher, and clearly at this point, it is not a fourth wave. We're down at 92 bucks. This is pretty much done, I think, because it would have to be it's basically at the 0.38 fib right now. So I guess I'll say it's done. If it loses the 200 DMA, then it's done for sure. 100%. Lose the 200 DMA at 80 bucks, and Nvidia is in a bear market heading much, much lower. So it could technically still go higher, but similar to Tesla, I think this is probably some kind of nested move. So I have it labeled as A1, and then I had 3, potentially 4, but yeah, it could be a diagonal, I guess. And clearly it's an impulse move at this point, down at 92 bucks. So Nvidia not looking good, next support at 80 bucks. Let's look at Meta. Meta last time I looked was at 438. Luckily I have some puts on this. I had some sold puts, took profit last week. Those are going to be up big. But I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm 100% out of the water, because I have long positions for sure. I have Tesla long. I have SoFi long. I have 100 shares in Nvidia. Not that much. I have enough to, I can average down, I guess, if I wanted to. And what else do I have? I have some AMD shares. So I'm definitely going to be getting screwed at the open too. I do have some QQQ puts. I have IWM puts. I have so I have some bearish positions too, which is going to be nice. I'll probably have a bunch of realized gains today, but I'm going to be down from the stocks that I hold long. So yeah, I wasn't prepared for this either. Traveling and stuff has been pretty tough, busy. I've been really busy, and it happened at the wrong time. But it's not the end of the world. We'll find out here soon. He's going to have to cut rates. If he doesn't cut rates, then who knows? It could keep on diving. So Meta's at 438. It has lost the 200 then. No, it hasn't. It's right at the 200 DMA. So this has lost the 20, the 50, 200 down here. Microsoft, I haven't even looked at the price. Let's just look where the 200 DMA is. Microsoft is probably completely screwed. Let's look at it. $373. Wow. So this is completely screwed too. 373. I had a suspicion that it was finished. Could it be a fourth wave? I guess. If this was a B wave here, an expanded flat, I would say below 346, then you're looking at it completely being finished. So 346 is the 1.61 fib. Technically, it could still be a C wave, but you lose that 200 DMA support. You've lost all support on those time frames. On the weekly, you've lost every support except for the 200 on the weekly at 300 bucks. So Microsoft, epic meltdown from almost 470. Apple. Apple is almost hit my target. I had a target of 195. I'll show you. Is it possible that they emergency rate cut here and everything reverses hard? It's definitely possible. Why would that not be possible? Why should that be possible? It's because we're down like 13% in 3 days. So that's definitely a possibility. I've had this drawn up for a while at 195. We're at 197 right here. And look what the next move I have is 265, a diagonal. So we'll see. Can it hold this area? You also have the weekly 50 here. You have the daily 200 again. So needs to hold the daily 200. So the most bearish one I've looked at so far is probably, I would say, Microsoft. Microsoft's the most bearish. Amazon was at 150 last time I looked. Let's see. $151. Let's take a look at where we're at. And this was already below, or is right below the 200 DMA. So now this is completely screwed. Let's look at the weekly. So yeah, you're looking at the 200 on the weekly at 145. Again though, let's look at this pattern right here. Look at that. 1.61 fib right at 146. So this could be, and this might be what it is. I'm not going to say for sure because nobody knows. But this very well could be the last shakeout, and then Powell cuts rates, and then the market just goes parabolic. I was expecting it to take longer though, but I think he has to save the market here. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But Amazon needs to hold 145, so, and Apple needs to hold like 195. So all these stocks are on the edge of completely going into a bear market and completely falling apart. Let's go over Bitcoin. 52.5. So I haven't gone over this in a while. I don't really care that much. I do have some Bitcoin, but I don't have enough to care that much. I have 0.7 of a Bitcoin. So let's just take a look at this. So I had this as a third wave right here. So the official invalidation is at 25,000, but that's too low. I would say official invalidation is probably the 0.5 fib. That's sitting at 38,000. So right now, completely fine. 44,522. Again, similar to SPY, pretty shallow second wave. So we're getting that sharp fourth wave. So as long as it doesn't crack below the 200 on the weekly, which is at 38,000, I would say it can still go up here to 100K. So it looks to me like this is probably a C wave, similar to the stocks. I'm still hopeful, but we'll see what happens. It's hard to say that you're confident, obviously, when the stocks are falling this much. But the chart, I'm still hopeful for it. On QQQ, again, I'm not that hopeful. But like I said before, if this ends up being a blow off top B wave like this, I can see this happening right here. Down here and then just goes up, and that's the real melt up. Maybe we go to 600 and then we get a huge meltdown like that. So I don't know if I gave you that much information today, just my thoughts on the market. I think we're going to have to see Powell do some emergency rate cuts. I don't think that these stocks are 100% screwed yet, but if you get one more day like this, then they're going to be screwed. Like, if we get another 2, 3, 4% day after this day, then the market's going to be in full meltdown mode. Everyone's going to be panic selling, and then we'll really see Powell have to cut rates. So that's my thoughts on it. Not that much technicals, just talking about the moving averages. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd like to hear everybody's opinion. Do you think that this is the official crash, or do you think we're going to see a rate cut and then an epic melt up into 2025? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe for more updates, and catch you in the next video.